Hello viewers, so welcome to this very important lecture. We are going to discuss about the nitrogen cycle. Now the nitrogen cycle is basically the process by which nitrogen is converted between its various chemical forms. Nitrogen must be made available to living organisms because it is a very important constituent of chemicals or substances that are found in living organisms. It's a constituent of proteins, and it's also found in the chlorophyll, and it's part of the DNA and the RNA and other very important chemical substances. So the conversion of nitrogen between these various forms, as it's transformed from nitrogen gas to ammonium to nitrites to nitrates, that process is what we call the nitrogen cycle. Now I want to look at the process of the nitrogen cycle. The nitrogen cycle involves very important processes such as nitrogen fixation, ammonification, nitrification, and denitrification. The processes of nitrogen cycle involves nitrogen fixation, ammonification, nitrification, and denitrification, as well as assimilation. Now I want to look at the process of how the nitrogen is being circulated in nature. Now 78% of nitrogen exists as nitrogen gas in the atmosphere, and for this nitrogen to be available to living organisms, it has to be fixed. And fixation of nitrogen takes place through various processes. The first process is through lightning, then it also made available to the biosphere through the activities of microorganisms. Now, when lightning strikes, lightning splits water into hydrogen and hydrogen ions and combines the hydrogen ions with nitrogen to form ammonium. And the ammonium is now made available to the soil. It's now introduced into the soil. The soil microorganisms, such as Nitrosomonas, now convert the ammonium to nitrite. Then Nitrobacter species now converts nitrites to nitrates that are nutrients, good nutrients that plants now assimilate. Now, in plants too, there are some microorganisms like Rhizobium leguminosarum, which is a bacterium, or which are bacteria that inhabit the root nodules of leguminous plants. These bacteria have the capacity of providing or converting nitrogen to ammonium, and which is also made available to the plants for absorption. So and there are also some other free-living bacteria such as Azotobacter species, which are also responsible for this process of conversion of nitrogen to ammonium. And when this is made available, it's being converted to nitrites and nitrates for plants to absorb. So the absorption of the nitrates by the plant is called assimilation, while the conversion of nitrogen to to ammonium is called nitrogen fixation. Then after nitrogen fixation, nitrification occurs, and the nitrification involves the conversion of ammonium to nitrites by Nitrosomonas species, and nitrites to nitrates by Nitrobacter species, which are bacteria. Now this nitrogen that's being assimilated by the plants is then being utilized for various processes, especially also for the production of proteins. And the protein and other forms of the nitrogen is being obtained by animals. The animals feed on these plants, and as they feed on these plants, they obtain the nitrogen. Now, when the plants and animals die, or when animals excrete, especially when we excrete nitrogenous waste products like urea, uric acid, and others, these nitrogenous wastes are returned back to the soil and reconverted. Now, when plants and animals die too, the decomposition of the dead plants and animals results in the return of nitrogen back to the soil, and the process is now continuous. Now, excess nitrogen is returned. So the decomposition of the dead plants and animals is called ammonification. That process is called ammonification. Now, when there's excess nitrogen, or at some point some of the nitrogen is returned back to the atmosphere through a process known as denitrification, and that's carried out by bacteria in the soil that are called Clostridium species. Clostridium species are responsible for the return of nitrogen back to the atmosphere through a process known as denitrification. Now, the same thing also occurs in the aquatic ecosystems. Now, in the aquatic ecosystem, the cyanobacteria are responsible for the conversion of atmospheric nitrogen to ammonium. Then other bacteria like the Nitrosomonas and the Nitrobacter now does the conversion from ammonium to nitrites and to nitrates. The same thing that happens in the introduction of nitrogen and ammonium to the water to the soil also happens in water through lightning as well. So thanks a lot for watching this video on the nitrogen cycle. I believe you must have learned a lot. Please keep watching more of my videos from my YouTube channel. Thanks.